Alright guys, so now we move on to the most satisfying part of doing this for all of us. It's mocking WWE's atrocious commentary team.
As you might imagine, there is no best commentator.
No, because you know normally you just say, alright, Jim Ross, best commentator, but even he became terrible towards leaving.
Okay, so worst commentator award. McCool. Wow, he's a shocker. I was shocked he's on the list.
I know. Jerry the King Lawler, a Hall of Famer.
Todd Grisham, future Hall of Famer.
Don't even say that.
Josh Matthews, and of course Byron Saxton, the man with no personality.
Anyway, okay, they were all shit.
They were all appalling, actually. We hated Grisham at the start of the year. Jerry the King Lawler is terrible.
I mean, he's just...
He is the worst face commentator
If they just bring him back to being a heel, he was quite entertaining.
Yeah.
But
now he's just like, whenever The Miz comes out, he just buries him the whole time. This is not the job of the face commentator.
He's just like, oh, The Miz, no. Like,
God, I should just go in there and beat up The Miz. Bet I could. Then backstage last night.
No, it's like, oh, like, do you think they'll let me squash The Miz like they let me squash Kendrick? No. Like.
Anyway, we decided, after much deliberation, the winner of the worst commentator award, because I don't think we hardly knew ye's worst commentator award, Todd Grisham.
Todd Grisham, anyone who can get a full-time job as a wrestling commentator and refer to tag team wrestling as doubles has to win this award.
Worst commentary moment of this year, though. We've gone for... We've not given you options here. I mean, it was so obvious to us.
So clear-cut.
Shaq as guest host. Shaq knocks over the Big Show. Michael shouts, "Boom! Shakalaka-laka!" And then the King comes in with
the classic, it's like he's been hit by a truck, but it's not a truck, it's Shaq.
One of many classic commentating moments. And once again, you'll notice Todd Grisham saying doubles doesn't even win that award. That's how bad they are.
I know. Anyway.
It's not tennis, Todd. Anyway, the awards for the Divas. The Divas.
How exciting.
The best overall diva. The nominees are Natalya, Beth Pheonix, Gail Kim, Mickie James, and Michelle McCool.
We're surprised we came up with 5 divas for best overall diva, but then we realised that Michelle McCool has largely been terrible and is still on our 5 best.
Also, Natalya, Gail Kim have done nothing, and Beth Pheonix has basically done nothing.
Beth Pheonix.
Almost a jobber, repeatedly losing to Santino Marella. And the winner of the award is... Beth Pheonix.
Only because, right, technically it probably should be Mickie James, particularly for actually managing to act upset at that Piggy James promo.
Piggy James?
But some of Mickie James's matches this year have just been so mind-numbingly awful, and I've never seen Beth...
More on that story later.
I've never seen Beth Pheonix herself actually be terrible, and she is really good.
Yeah.
And she's quite over, so...
Worst diva. There's a lot of competition. First, we'd like to point out Maria, who won the Slammy Award for Best Diva. Who are these morons?
The only non-kayfabe award of the whole Slammies, and Maria won. Maria, who's, I think, maybe been a special guest referee twice this year. I saw her in a tag match once, and she didn't get tagged in at any point. Like,
for the best. The Bellas together, because we can't distinguish between them. Except one wrestles like a bad Kevin Nash. Rosa Mendes, Alicia Fox, who was debatable, and Jillian Hall. The winner is Jillian Hall. Because despite everyone claiming she's an excellent indie wrestler and claiming, oh, she just got ring rust, she has wrestled several times recently and been so appalling that she actually makes like other divas look credible. Mm-hmm. Her chemistry with Melina is some of the worst I have ever seen.
She's just, I mean, there's just nothing, and she's totally hideous. Like, I mean, just everything about her is, I mean, like, I don't even find her gimmick funny. Like,
no, it's terrible. Brand of the year, best brand goes to Smackdown. A lot of people would say that was obvious.
Well, Smackdown spent a lengthy period this year being so much better.
There was about 2 months when Smackdown was actually brilliant.
Yeah, so I mean, it's got to be Smackdown.
But it has been shit recently, and Raw has actually been better than it was when it won Worst Brand of the Year.
Yes, we've given Raw Worst Brand of the Year because...
No surprise.
I mean,
Too many gimmicks.
The whole guest host thing has just been shit. So, that we say best SmackDown, worst Raw.
Pay-per-views. This might provide a few shocks. In the worst category, third, Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell was truly terrible.
The thing about it was a massive disappointment because it should have been quite entertaining.
It was a good card. I thought it was the best looking card of the year, and awful.
I still can't get over John Cena and Randy Orton wrestling a Hell in a Cell match that in no way involved the cell.
that was pretty incredible.
When their promo on Raw beforehand heavily involved the cell.
Second worst, SummerSlam.
Now people seem to like SummerSlam.
Right. This is what happened. Ziggler Mysterio was a good match. Punk Hardy was a pretty good match. The ending was terrible. Although The Undertaker coming out was great. DX Legacy, everyone loved that. You thought it was mediocre. I thought it was terrible. Personally. But that's a personal opinion. I understand that. But beyond that, you have to look at it like this. 3 appalling matches on this show. Kane versus Khali. Regal versus Christian. Which was...
I can't even. You made me so angry, so unbelievably angry.
It made him so angry. I thought you'd have something to say at that moment. But
I was just thinking about it, and I was so pissed off. It was such. I mean, everybody knows that ECW has become a total joke, but it was such a mockery, especially considering it was the first time in a long time, really, that they had a proper feud between two people that are really good at the top of ECW.
And Cena versus Orton was also terrible. The worst pay-per-view of the year, though, was WrestleMania 25. How can you have a 5-star match and be the worst pay-per-view of the year?
To be honest, it was only really the worst pay-per-view of the year because one aspect of it was so hideous.
Triple H coming out and retaining at the end.
Also, Mickey Rourke humiliating Chris Jericho was
and
awful.
All the other titles that weren't world titles just be made into like the most pathetic joke. Intercontinental title in a squash, women's division in a battle royal won by Santina. Tag team not even on the thing. I mean, it was no. Best pay-per-views of the year. Third, TLC. Now some people don't seem to like this.
No, we haven't had a chance to rant about TLC yet, but everyone seems to have hated it.
Yeah.
We thought TLC was great. We really liked it.
Really good. I thought I had 4 really good matches on it.
Yeah.
Shelton Benjamin, Drew McIntyre, John Morrison was good. Not as good as the others. The main event was good, and Randy Orton, Kofi Kingston, I thought was a really good match.
Yeah.
Batista Undertaker was acceptable.
It was
Sheamus winning was the biggest shock I have seen.
Literally the most surprising thing that's ever happened in wrestling.
It was just like, what?
We were both just like.
Second, Backlash, a very consistent pay-per-view with a great main event, Cena versus Edge. And first, No Way Out.
No Way Out. Absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the best pay-per-view of the year.
Brilliance. Utter brilliance.
The only pay-per-view of the year that, as a pay-per-view, as itself, separate to all the storylines that were going on at the time, displayed its own psychology from start to finish. Why don't pay-per-views...
This little narrative arc, it makes such a difference. Because there were bad matches on this pay-per-view, but you didn't even care.
Yeah, because stuff was happening around it that was interesting.
Of course, Edge gets eliminated in 3 minutes from the first chamber, then wins the second chamber. Genius. Anyway, turn over to part 3.